myself, along with other Trinidadians, we feel a sense of hopelessness. So what do? We know this is happening. We know there are senators who are withdrawing their support. We know that the government is not doing anything. We know that we want change, but what do? I'm not saying you have all the answers, but I'm here today because I just feel that need, that bubbling to have some kind of change.
And I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. I don't have any answers to the question in terms of what you're saying, but what I can share with you is that I didn't know about Philip until last week, really, right? And it was because 2 years ago I decided that I heard that child marriage is still legal, and I was like, okay, now that's not right. What's going on? I looked for the literature. There isn't any. I changed my research topic altogether, and I started fresh, and I went looking. And what I did was that, to make the connection in terms of what you can do, was that when I asked the registrar department for statistics, in terms of the statistics that was released, I asked for the ages, I asked for the geography, locations of where these marriages occurred, and a lot of separate information. And to this day, I never received it. And I got a response, and I waited around for 6 months, waiting to find out. But I went ahead and I did my research, and I found people, on my own. So that when the girl gave birth in Sangre Grande at age 12, there was already a record in the registrar department asking for a breakdown in terms of statistics. But they held on to the statistics and they gave it to the AG. They didn't give it to me. And I mean, my time, the research was done. But at least I could have seen the connection in terms that I asked them for about a year for these statistics, and at least it was able and it was prepared to be distributed. And with these statistics, that's the proof that you need to come forward and say that child marriage is an issue. Because if you look back in the literature, people were saying, why are you talking about this? So it was just me being fed up. I wanted to do something productive. And I'm only here because this is what I know. As you say, like, this too is my first, somewhat of political, but I'm not a political person. I just know about child marriage. Otherwise, I would be where you all are, right? So take that burning and take that feeling, and you just go with it with what you're passionate about. I have a baby nephew. I have 2 stepgirls. I don't want them to be able to get married at 12. That's just simply it. And I mean, they're 10 and they're 9. And if they had a worthless father or a worthless mother, they would have been able to get married in this country. But thankfully, that's not the case. So you understand where I'm coming from. So you just find a way, so whatever it is that you're passionate about, and you just kind of work with it. And I think that that's what this platform is here for, in terms of getting people, like-minded people, who actually have some constructive work to do towards change, rather than getting a job or something like that. And you just kind of go with it. So I hope it helped, and we could probably talk after.
Okay, we just want to say that we have a technical difficulty nearby. So if you want to stand up and share, you can, but without the microphone, sorry, but you could go up on the head podium and speak on that.
Come closer.
Sorry. You have 2 more speakers, and I just want to ask you, you want to try and condense and then open the floor properly. So you want to do this now, or you want to wait till after everybody gets ready? Wait for that? Yeah, that's fine. Sorry about that. Just shut up. Because I'm not going to shut you.
Okay, I said something earlier at the intro about an organic organization. The 2 other speakers that Philip are referring to wasn't on the platform, wasn't on the schedule, but that's spontaneity. So I'm going to open it up for Mr. Scott to come and share some words with you. And that's the type of activism we want.
Good night, friends and family and fellow PEP supporters. I've been following Mr. Philip on the social network since the 2nd of January when the new year begins. And all I've been reading is solutions and ideas. I've been very vocal in my comments, and my focus more or less is on community development. We need to develop the community to a particular level because I have walked the street with a pin in my slippers as a poor man, suffering, broken, and I know what it is to be a poor man and a small man from that level growing up. And community development from preschool to daycare and all these things. Also, we need to create the environment where our people are safe. Everybody is safe. We need to walk 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, take our sweat, whatever. Create the environment that the criminal elements, they have their zone, lock them down with braces, whatever, they have their own zone. We, the law-abiding citizen, can create our own environment where we are peace, loving, and doing certain things that we enjoy. We need to create our own environment where community development is concerned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I would like to introduce Sunil Wagbury, and he's going to touch very briefly on the environment.
Good night, everybody, and welcome. We all know we got a little drizzle this afternoon, and we know what coming after a few months again, rain. What come after rain, especially in Trinidad, after a little heavy rain, flood. This we had to change. What causes the flood when we pass and we see the rivers and the drains and stuff? Plastic, bottle, garbage, Cyrotex. This we had to change. There's no viable legislation in the government that has a proper recycling policy. This we had to change, right? There is a solution, and I'll give you something before I actually give you the solution. You know, the Beetham landfill is less than 3 years lifespan again, from now, from today. Right? This we had to change, right? The solution is recycling. We all know. All over the world, you could Google it. There's recycling plants for plastics and Cyrotex, which we both face in Trinidad especially, because we all like to go party and drink bottled water and throw the containers over. Even if we put it in the garbage, which is the black garbage bags or the green garbage bags, ends up in the landfill, because they say there's nothing viable, comes up a proper recycling policy, and end back up in the drains and the rivers and the seas, right? And these are the things we have to change. And we all know the aspects what happened with flood. Right? And again, I say these things we have to change. So I'm not going to say too much because there's so much we could say in terms of environment and policies. And probably for the next meeting, we will touch more on different aspects. But before I leave, I just want to touch a little bit on education. Again, for the nation youth, we're talking about kids. We all know what coming in a couple of months' time, SCA. How often we see these little 9 and 10-year-old children with book bags bigger than them, heavier than them. This is what we had to change. Too long we back in the system and we keep going backwards and backwards and backwards. Next thing I want to point out to you guys before I leave, how often we see we little children getting up early in the morning and then coming back all now. You know why? Because they have lessons. This is what we have to change. Right? And with that, I say thank you.
Okay, just to add something to that. Just take away one thing from that snippet. Landfill, 3 years. That's all you need to know from today's date. Okay? Anybody would like to raise any issues or send any questions? If not, I will ask. We have Harry Hunt, who want to share a word or two.
I don't know if I want to particularly share anything, but the question was asked, what can we do, okay? Well, the whole point of this evening is PEP, a new political party, because what we need to do is to break the stranglehold of the two-party system. We need to make people listen, because the politicians don't listen. And the PEP is going to change all that. That's what it's all about. And so I'm sure that most of you have been following Philip's posts, and you know, Philip is a guy who is pretty inspiring. So, you know, in order to, you know, we can talk about all the things we've been talking about, but to make real change, we have to make sure that the UNC and the PNM don't get elected the next time round. It's as simple as that. There'll be no change without a new party. The system needs to change.
Okay, if there are any media personnel, I just want to give you a soundbite for tomorrow's tabloid. Same script, different cast. There's a gentleman there raising your hand. Yeah, I'm about to introduce him. Okay, no problem. You're just hanging right there. Watch your clock. Okay, I'm going to introduce you, and I've been asked to specify this throughout. Interim political leader. None of us are looking for political jobs. They don't pay very well, unless you're into corruption.
All right. Apologies for the feedback. I hate that. Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. In my rush to come here, I forgot my bottle of water, so if anybody feels helpful. Right. This evening is about planting a seed. This evening is about coming to you and saying, it's easy to talk. I'm a wordsmith. I could talk all day. I could talk about issues. I could talk about ideas. But if we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, don't change gears, this country dead. All of us know it. Rich, poor, black, white, brown, green, up, down, sideways. Venezuela have more oil than Saudi Arabia. Look at the state of Venezuela. You know what's coming for Trinidad? Worse. Haiti coming for Trinidad. We're going to end up with Dupre's and Sabgas as royalty. And the rest of us, you can't get foreign exchange. You have a book when you're getting gas and when you could drive. This is what coming, you know. Those who don't read history, don't understand how a nation fails, Trinidad is failing. How you know your nation failing? 27 murders in 17 days and the parliament debating an issue that already settled before Faris Al-Rawi started up. Trinidad and Tobago, for those who don't know, and if there are any media here, I want you to tell Faris Al-Rawi, this is why he should be fired. Faris, fire yourself. This is why Faris should be fired. Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child. If you marry a child under the age of 18, you are contravening that and you are breaking the law. It is already a law. We are wasting time, distracting people from the train that come in, you know. Plenty talking heads outside there, sycophants. I call them sycophants. I tell you why. They think their business fixed. They gain a little money in their pocket. They're going to live in a gated community. I tell people all the time, the man that manning the gate in your gated community don't live by you. He don't live by you. When the Mark Boss and Pepper start to share, he ain't taking Pepper for you. So those who feel that they're in a comfort space, because Rowley know their name and he's take the call, or that Kamala like them, all you're wrong. Our reality now is this. The PNM and the UNC have demonstrated conclusively that they have both failed this country. And unless we, don't vote for me, you know. I'll tell you plain, you can't be more controversial than me. I don't want nobody vote. I want to come out here and upset the order. I want them to tell me why we have a Minister of Education in 2017 who removed sexual education from the class curriculum and put them back in, bring the priests and the nuns back to bless them. This is where we're going, you know. In 2017, we're going backwards. Your Minister of Works and Transport in the Parliament, Mr. Rohan Sinanan, fire yourself because you realize that Uber illegal. Uber illegal. I listened to a man on CNC3 this morning while I was waiting in the waiting room. Uber illegal because private cars have no insurance cover for passengers for hire. So go and tell that to Massey Rentals, who renting 10,000 cars today, all P, breaking the law. Every PH taxi on the road, Mr. Rohanson and Ann, while you're trying to put a spoke in Uber wheel, you wouldn't go against your partner Jack Warner, who legitimized illegality. Because the law that you're quoting that says a PH taxi is illegal, that's where you should start. So if you couldn't deal with that for 2 months, but you could deal with Uber in 24 hours, fire yourself. Take my advice. Rohanson and Ann, fire yourself. The man who told me this morning, Rohan only there 2 months, and it was Fitzgerald Hines there before, fire him too. Yes. Fire all. Let me tell you something, eh? This is what I tell you, plant a seed today, When you leave here tonight, tell them, I tell you, because who could pack up and leave? Check your friends list, All those who on social media, you're getting plenty posts from Miami, New York City. People going quiet, and then they're going away. Those who could go leaving. Trinidad is failing. The People's National Movement, only working for the people that could have sit down on a couch and a launching chair outside Goodwood Park with Keith Rowley. They're working for nobody else. I asked this morning on CNC3, the first time that ever a question was posed to a prime minister in our parliament, in our nation's history, was posed by the leader of the opposition, himself then, 30 years, the member of parliament for David Martin West. 30 years, 30 years, he there. He's held some very high-level positions in government. But the first question, he stand up and had the audacity and the brass balls to ask the prime minister at the time, what happened to the Carenage fish market? And that's a good question. This Carenage is fisher people. But he there now 16 months as prime minister and they still ain't get the fish market yet. So Keith Rowley, fire yourself. Fire yourself. And to the UNC, that don't know why they abstain from that vote today, but they abstain for cheap politics, fire yourself too. The people of Trinidad and Tobago has no representation in that parliament, and if you think you do, check yourself. Tell me, what was the last time something took place in the parliament that affected you and your life positively? In 2012, I went to, and people ask me, the first thing I have here on my list of papers, why form a party? Why not work with them? Went to Kamala as Prime Minister and suggested something called the Second Chance Foundation for the homeless and the people who get charged for small petty crimes, marijuana, thief of sneakers. Let's find out what is wrong with them, why they're not functioning in the society, and bring them back and slipstream them back into functional, contributing members of society. That went nowhere. I gave the Congress and the people a program called, when you hear the word, don't say nothing. In 2007, I gave the Congress and the people a program called RISE. And RISE was meant to twin Goodwood Park and Beetham and Westmoreland and Sealot and Valsayn and Morveh. Twin them in this way, not to give Beetham Goodwood Park House, but to find out what are the advantages that the people of Goodwood Park, Valsayn and Westmoreland have, that the people of these communities don't, that is allowing them to fail. And get all of our citizens, if we identify food, clean water, shelter, right to decent education, security of person. If we say those 5 things are the basic requirements of a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, then let's get that everybody to that level, and together we will rise. The UNC read our last line, we will rise, and Ernie Ross make it a campaign slogan. I swear to you, this is what I went to the UNC again. Literacy first. I'm telling you all the things that they know, so you know, you'll hear them when they start to copy them. If you want a state job, if you want a state contract, if you want a HDC house, if you want a CPEP work, if you get arrested the first thing that's supposed to be done in this country is a literacy test. We have 200,000 people in this country that cannot read. And if you cannot read, you cannot fill out a job application by pizza boys. So how are you going to feed your children? And how are you going to buy the new Nikes? You have to go and rob people because you can't get a job. So we said literacy first, because if you get arrested for a petty crime and the magistrate sends you for a literacy test and you come back illiterate, he could give you the option of getting yourself literate but at the state's expense. 6 weeks. 6 weeks you have basic literacy. You could read and write your name. And that alone would start to transform this nation. That alone. If we get the 200,000 illiterate people in this country literate, that will transform this nation. If you took the jails and all of those people that are in jail now and made our jails a university, so that if you're in jail and you get a degree, we will cut something off your sentence. If you get your master's, we'll cut a little more. If you get a doctorate, we'll open the door. Because the illiterate criminal that went into the jail with no life's choices is not the same as a positive ripple coming out. But we have no visionaries in parliament. And we have nobody in government or opposition that really put in the people first. So what are we to do? We found $25 billion in a week to bail out Clico. $25 billion, I did some quick arithmetic. $25 billion plus the $20 billion interest that is due and owing on that loan. Because if Dupré had borrowed that from Scotiabank, they'd have charged him 12%. I said charge him 10, he's a nice guy. Charge him 10%, that's $20 billion. He now owes on top of the original 25 because Dupré said he wants his company back. Rowley and them talking about giving Dupré back his company while he's still owing this country $20 billion, not counted interest. And I'm telling you, if we never marched before, march for that. Because $20 billion will build 100,000 houses for all the people who name on HDC. That's what that $20 billion will build. But to get an HDC house, you have to go and twist and turn and let the minister feel you up and bring your sister for him to see. That's the kind of nasty this is going on in this country, you know. But they find $25 billion for Dupré in a week. This is our reality. This is only happening because a small group of people have been allowed to prosper in their evil, because 1.3 million of us have allowed ourselves to be beaten into submission. I asked in 2012 on same CNC3, because I mentioned it again today to him. I said then, it is in this country's best interest for the government to give first-time homeowners the opportunity to access a loan, 0% interest, 0% down. That would put a home up to $500,000 in reach of minimum wage earners. Let me tell you why you want to do that. The more people that own homes in this country are the more people that have vested interests and stakes in this country. There are people in this audience here who working in the bank or who working in the public sector can't afford a house yet. They can't afford a house. Because when you go to the bank tell you that 45% of your salary has to be set aside for the installment. And you realize that the installment on $1 million is $10,000 a month. You have nowhere to go. Because a townhouse in Westmoreland that's falling apart is $3 million. So that means 45% of your salary have to be $30,000. So you and your wife have to be earning $70,000 to qualify for a rat trap in Westmoreland. And I'm calling it that for a reason. Because the value of real estate in this country is artificially high. It is artificially high because the narcotics traffickers and the people who steal the billions that you hear get stolen in the parliament, they go and they hide it in real estate. Because if you put it in a bank account, the financial intelligence unit could knock on your door. But you could own 400 houses and nobody asking you nothing. That's the reality. So when a man owns 400 houses and he getting that free, because he greasing and he kicking back and he contracting and he moving narcotics dollars, you can't get to buy a piece.